David Moyes has been installed as the new manager of West Ham United. Press comments have not been kind, and one would be forgiven for thinking that Moyes is already a dead man walking in charge of a failing team in a white elephant stadium. Certainly, Moyes' record of late has been poor. Despite being heralded for his work with an impoverished Everton side, his tenures at Manchester United, Real Sociedad and Sunderland all ended with some version of failure. Moyes' managerial record shows that only once has he achieved a win ratio of more than 50%, and that was at United. But it is worth noting that Moyes has won the League Managers Association Manager of the Year award more than any current Premier League manager, and is second only to Sir Alex Ferguson since the award began in 1994. Moyes is known to be a meticulously prepared reactive manager. He tends to use one of two formations, either a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-2-3-1, the only difference being how high the wide players start and the degree to which they stay wide or cut inside. His major tactical variations are specific, personnel-based and designed to counter the strengths of the opposition. This tinkering led to long runs of never playing the same starting 11 twice in a row, but it shows a willingness to adapt as well. At Everton, where Moyes enjoyed most of his sustained period of success, working within budgetary constraints, he favoured the 4-4-1-1. Width was largely provided by the fullbacks, and in Seamus Coleman and Leighton Baines, Moyes worked with two energetic, capable players who could get up and down the pitch and provide an attacking threat alongside defensive solidity. The wide midfielders, usually the talented Steven Pienaar on the left and players like Leon Osman, Kevin Morales or even Ross Barkley on the right, tended to tuck in to compact the midfield, allow overlaps and create passing options inside for the overlapping fullbacks. Moyes would often pair these wide midfielders with deeper-lying, unfussy defensive midfielders like Darren Gibson, Phil Neville, following his conversion from fullback, or again the versatile Osman. They sat deeper, screening the centre-backs and winning back possession before shifting the ball wide. The caricature of a Moyes side, defensive, stilted, with midfielders giving sideways passes to players who bang in crosses, comes from this Everton approach, but for a long time it was an effective ploy. Moyes would often play a tall, aerially dominant player in the number 10 role, such as Tim Cahill or Marouane Fellaini, behind a nimble, poacher-type striker. This striker was there to run into spaces and drag defenders away from the later arriving aerial threat, and to latch onto crosses played into the danger area between the keeper and defenders. In the time that Moyes was in charge at Everton, Everton recorded more headed shots and headed shots on target than any other team in the Premier League, and scored the third most headed goals. This approach clearly worked for Moyes at Everton, and it's worth noting West Ham could be geared to and used to playing with a similar aim in mind. We've already shown in a previous video that West Ham play more long balls accurately as a proportion than any other current Premier League side, since the beginning of last season have a high degree of accuracy for headed shots, and a good proportion of their headed shots end in goals. So, what can West Ham United fans expect from David Moyes? It seems likely that he will use a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-2-3-1 with two deep midfielders, a compact central space, attacking fullbacks and wide midfielders who tuck in, or wingers who play as inside forwards. He'll probably use Chicharito as the sort of predatory striker he favours, but he'll endeavour to give the Mexican more support with a strong aerial presence, perhaps Michail Antonio. In Aaron Cresswell and Pablo Zabaleta or Sam Byram, Moyes has the sort of fullbacks he can encourage to push forwards. West Ham's somewhat leaky defence will be buoyed by the Scots' emphasis on solidity through the middle, where Pedro Obayang and Mark Noble will play much like the Darren Gibson role, though the versatile Declan Rice could also be used here. Out wide, Andre Ayew, Manuel Lanzini and Marko Arnautovic can all play tucking in or pushing forwards rather than as natural wingers, again offering more support to whoever plays up front than was afforded under Slaven Bilic. Pragmatically, if not aesthetically, Hammers fans will hope they see the Moyes of Everton rather than the Moyes of Sunderland. Of course, dreams of attacking football must come second to safety. But with the personnel that Moyes has, and the fact that West Ham's squad do seem geared to play a style of football that could work under the Scot, He could well conjure some of the success he had with the Toffees, rather than condemn West Ham to a season of failure and relegation. People often ask us where we get our stats for these videos. A great place to start is the OneFootball app. The app offers a fairly comprehensive statistical coverage of teams and players in-game and post-match, so there's a link in the description of this video if you'd like to download it. Thanks for watching.